There she is.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing very well. Really excited to welcome you today, and I just want to remind our listeners, people who are listening to us live and people who are listening to the recording, this is Faik Bouhrik, the founder of the Vegan Stay, and this is our Instagram weekly live, Tales from Vegan Animal Sanctuaries from around the world. It's a program where we host a founder of a sanctuary, and we get to hear about their personal journeys and the amazing things that they have done, and hear a little bit more about what they do, what they have done, the challenges, how people can help them, as well as when possible we get to meet some of the animals. And our guest today is Morag, the founder of Tribe Animal Sanctuary Scotland. And Morag is a really gracious person, very easy to talk to, very easy to work with. She actually was the first person to host a stay on the website, the first person where we saw a reservation, and I have really enjoyed getting to know her over the past year, and really excited to have her as my guest today. Hello, Morag.
Hi, Faik.
How are you today?
I'm good, yes. It was quite difficult to find a quiet corner in this place, though.
Of course.
I am literally sitting in a corner.
Are you at the sanctuary today?
I am, yes.
Okay, wonderful. We'll get to hear more about the other things that you do, because I know that you run you run a tattoo studio and you are a tattoo artist in Glasgow. So,
yes.
So the first thing usually that comes to my mind, I mean, particularly when I hear about your background, the tattoo artist, somebody who runs a sanctuary, somebody as passionate as you are, could you tell us a little bit more how this journey started in the first place?
I have been a vegetarian since I was 13 and then vegan. So it's been a long-standing passion of mine. The tattooing came after that. And tattooing was a job for me, obviously another passion of mine. I love it. And, you know, if you work, it's one of these jobs, if you work hard, you can make money. So I always knew that I was going to be working towards starting a sanctuary, because, you know, when it's like when you're a vegan, you just always feel that you're not going far enough, or that you could do more. And I always knew that I wanted to save actual animals rather than just, you know, not eating them or not contributing to their suffering as much as I could. So the plan kind of came together after like a few years of tattooing, that I could maybe do both and have a sanctuary and continue to work to make sure that I don't run out of funds. So at some point I decided the time was right, and it just all came together. The fact that I was, you know, able to afford it, the way that social media is, the fact that, you know, you can do vegan outreach online easy these days, that kind of thing all made me think the time's right and let's jump in.
Wow. And so you said you were vegetarian, then you became vegan, and how long ago did you become vegan?
I became vegan in about 30 years ago.
Oh, wow. So that was really way before that it has become a catchword and sort of like more of a mainstream thing. Wow. So, and then you said, so 30 years ago, well, you must have been, must be quite young at the time. And well, still you look very young. So, but 30 years ago, and then, so then you decided, okay, I'm gonna become a sanctuary. I'm gonna find a sanctuary. And my understanding is that you found the sanctuary as well as the tattoo studio with your husband. Is that correct?
Yes, I've had the tattoo studios for a long time. I've had the tattoo studios for longer than I've had my current husband. Oh,
I see. Okay, so you were I get it. So, but then the sanctuary you started together. Is that correct?
Yes, we did. Yes, the sanctuary's only been going for 6 years, so that's fairly new still.
Yeah. Okay. And so, as you were starting a sanctuary, and as you started a sanctuary, what are some of the most important lessons that you learned in terms of doing it day to day, as opposed to what you thought a sanctuary was or what a sanctuary would entail?
I've always had an idea of what sanctuary should be like, and you know, back in the day, it was always some kind of soul-destroying, never-ending grind, and you would constantly be given animals, and you know, you'd rehome them, and you'd be fundraising and all these things. And I fully expected my life to be like that. But I've kind of moved with the times. I've had to accept that you can't take all the animals, and we've managed to make it work. You know, it's sustainable as far as we know. And although I did expect it to be hard, I probably underestimated the emotional toll it takes, and you know, to an extent, the physical toll. But you have to be realistic about what you can do and what you can achieve, and just try and work within your parameters and not just run yourself into the ground.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. I mean, because you're on the front line, and somebody to make the kinds of sacrifices and kind of commitment that you make, well, it has to be a very, very kind of special person to start with. And when somebody like you burns out to the point that you can no longer contribute, animals are going to lose a real ally. And I think it's extremely important that people, when they get involved with supporting animals and in any way, particularly running the sanctuary, that they find ways to do it sustainably, because it's not only a matter of helping those animals, but then animals have, you know, the very few allies, and then once those few allies are taken out of battle, that is a real tragedy for the person, but even more so, I would say, for the animals.
Absolutely. I think it's easy to think of running an animal sanctuary as simply rescuing animals and looking after them, but it's not. It's a lot more. That's just your starting point, and then you have to do, you know, all the business side of it. You need to do all the admin, all the emails and the requests, and you know, social outreach, like vegan outreach, like what we're doing now, and just thinking ahead. You know, it's not just rescuing the animals. That's kind of a minor part of it these days.
Yeah. No, I can only imagine. So, Morag, could you please walk us through a typical day for you? I mean, considering that you have a full-time job and then of course a sanctuary, and tell us what kind of commitment this is for you to be able to balance the two.
I'll tell you what it's like at the moment, because it keeps changing as well. At the moment, we've got 2 little lambs that need to be bottle fed. So my day starts at 5:30. They get their first bottle. And then I usually sit with a coffee, answer emails, maybe do a couple of social media posts, and they get their second bottle. And then everyone else starts waking up. So around 7:30, the animals start wanting their breakfast. So I'll go out, I'll start with the pigs, and then the Highland cows, and then the sheep, and then the goats, and then the other pigs, and then all the birds, and then I'll walk the dogs, and then I usually go to work and work a full day, come back, and then help putting everybody away and tidying up. And last thing at night, I'm probably folding sheets and, you know, doing admin. So it's a long day. It's you've got to pace yourself, otherwise you won't make it.
Yeah. No, so you said you wake up at 5:30 in the morning, and then when you go to bed, it's perhaps like 10 p.m., 11 p.m.
10. Wow. Yeah. I try to be in bed by 10. It never really works. But, you know, you try.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even if you go to bed by 10, that's still a 17-hour day in which the commitments start as soon as that you wake up. Yeah. So I just wanted to give people a real sense of the level of the commitment, and of course animals deserve that kind of level of commitment, and they need it. But this is one of the reasons that founders of vegan animal sanctuary, people like Morag, have or hold a very special spot in my heart, and that's why I believe so much in them. These are people not only very, very high levels of integrity and empathy and courage that manifests itself in all kinds of ways. I mean, just having the courage and the integrity to stand up and to bear witness. And the animal agriculture is, literally, that is literally what hell looks like. And then the animals that usually come to them are very needy, both emotionally, physically, they're traumatized, and to go that day in, day out, and as Morag was telling us, even just doing it for a month, it could be it's a lot of work, let alone that it's something that goes on day in, day out. And Morag, you're getting lots of hearts from our listeners, which is very lovely. I'm very happy to see. Yeah, you're getting a lot of very well deserved love. Yeah, absolutely. So tell us a little bit more. Do you have volunteers that help you in any way, form of shape?
We have. I have a great group of volunteers that help me on a Sunday, which is usually when we do the meet and greets, which is when we have visitors coming. So like a group of 20 or 25 people, and we show them around and we let them meet the animals and interact with the animals that want it. And our volunteers are great. They help, they look after the group, they open gates and, make sure everybody's, safe and gets what they want. And they also help me in the run up, getting the place looking good. So obviously my husband's here all the time and he's a hard worker. So he does a lot of the work, but it's nice to have some extra support on, Sundays when we have visitors. That's what the volunteers are really good for. We've also got just general support, people that support us online, people that do fundraisers for us, just kind people that give their time and energy to us and the animals.
Yeah, and well, obviously it's 17-hour days, working days. And is it safe to say it's 7 days a week?
Yes.
And
yes.
And it's safe to say 365 days a year.
Yes. The animals don't know that it's a weekend or that it's, a holiday or anything like that. I think the only way you can really manage that kind of workload is if you don't consider it work. It's like you say, it's a commitment for sure, but it's also, we kind of refer it as our loving duties, rather than work. You do it for the animals. You're not doing it for a boss. You're not doing it for, a company or something. It's for your animals. You want to do it, and that's the difference. I think that's what keeps you going.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Well, without that, even $1 million a day, it probably gonna be enough for you to work that intense. I mean, people will burn out a lot sooner if they did not have that kind of motivation. And exactly what I mean with work, I just really mean not work in the formal sense, but work in the sense of effort. And I'm asking you these questions because I wanted people really to understand the kind of person somebody like Morag is, the kind of person, what kinds of a commitment this is, what kind of heart this is, what kind of effort on behalf of all of us this is, and why animal sanctuaries are these organizations that are very worthy of support of all kinds. One of our listeners is saying, so let's see. Mom's Words, I think that's her name 3 for Instagram. TASS is the best. Heaven on earth. Yeah, apparently you have lots of admirers, of course. I see people, somebody said she just I'm assuming that she, because the word mom is in there. So Morag, how can people support you? People like me live far away. What kinds of things people are listening to us live or listen to our recording, how they can contribute to your mission?
The most important thing that we want people to do is to go vegan, to not contribute to all the suffering that animals are subject to. That's the crux of our work, and that's what everyone can do to support what we do, to spread our message, to, let people know that the animals are all deserving of our love and our attention, not just cats and dogs and, hamsters and so on, but all of them, just to spread the word and help people get over that weird disconnect that they have, that some animals are, pets and some are a commodity. And on a practical level, our social engagement is important to us, the work that we do online. So if people engage with our content, if people like and share, that really helps us, because we want to get the word out there that you can really love any animal, regardless of whether it's a cat or dog, and they've all got personalities. That's what we're trying to show. And the tattoo studios that we have are what finances all this. So if you're in Glasgow or Edinburgh, you can come to the studio and get a tattoo. That helps. We've also got PayPal and the usual merchandise and so on that people can support us with. But really, the main thing is to go vegan.
Yeah. The most thing is to honor the work that people like Morag and people like her are doing, is to just honor the sentience of animals, and at the very least not to contribute to exploiting and harming them, and to spread the word about that, as well as to spread the word about the work sanctuaries do. And Morag, you said things very specifically. You said that for people that they could contribute directly. So one of the things you said, that the tattoo studio in Glasgow uses the proceeds from that to run a sanctuary, which is, of course, is a resources intensive operation. I mean, considering the animals are animals, particularly animals that come from being rescued or rescue missions. Usually they tend to be very needy emotionally as well as physically, and their care is extremely vital, very, very important, and to contribute directly. So that is, well, of course, if you are in Glasgow, we would like to tattoo. Morag Sanctuary is the person to look up. Morag, also on the property, there is the hut that that you rent out through the vegan stay. So please tell us a little bit more about that project, and how did it start, and how is it going now?
It's a fun project. During lockdown, we built this hut, we bought a hut and a shell, and we did it up and started renting it out. We thought it would be just our regulars that love the animals and that follow, our animals on social media, that they would want to come and stay for a day or two. And so it started off, but it really snowballed, and it's been really, really popular. And the admin actually became a bit of an issue, because we were running it through Facebook, and it was lots of backwards and forwards with, is this date available? No, how about this date? Can't make that, that kind of thing took up a lot of time. So with the vegan stay, we are able to use a platform like yours. Has been a great help. So the admin of the vegan stay allows us to take bookings and the money just through you. Basically, you do that, and that helps us, frees up a lot of our time. So the hut is been great for two reasons. One is obviously it brings in money when people stay, but also it's part of our vegan outreach, because everybody that stays gets a tour. And I'm not saying we work on people, but when people meet the animals, they usually come away thinking, well, I can't eat them anymore, or I can't, harm them in any way. A wonderful form of vegan outreach as well. So it's been great, and I recommend it to other sanctuaries, because it's a good way to connect with people, and it's a good way to get in funds. So it's the way forward for sanctuaries, really.
Oh, absolutely. No, absolutely. And you said something very, very vital. And this is something, in fact, we emphasize in the vegan stay, is that we say guests, vegan and vegan curious. And anybody, in fact, as long as they are willing to honor the vegan code during their visit.
Yeah.
So because we wanted people to come near animals and interact with animals. And what you just said, Morag, is very vital, because not only you're rescuing animals, but that is just the number of animals that we can help that way. It's still a small number of animals out of the total animals in the system. But as you were saying initially, and you just emphasized now, the idea of making more and more people becoming vegan is probably the single most effective way of reducing animal exploitation and animal suffering in the world. Because one thing I've come to sort of become absolutely convinced of is that the strongest weapon in the arsenal of animal agriculture is invisibility and silence. We don't see animals. When people go to the supermarket, meat in a package. There is really no connection between that thing that I buy, that product, that thing, and then the sentient being that lived once and breathed once and suffered once, not once in the sense of once one, but I mean once upon a time that lived and breathed and suffered to give us, and then they didn't give us, we took it away by force. So that connection, and that's exactly what Morag is talking about, is once you bring in people face to face with animals, it becomes incredibly hard to not to respond, because now you realize that you're coming face to face to a person. So Morag, my other question to you is, so there is the tattoo studio, there is the hat that people that could stay at. Also, through your website, do you accept direct donations from people?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, just with PayPal, the usual, so if people want to leave us a PayPal donation, they're very, very welcome. The link is on the website.
Okay, wonderful. And your website is?
www.tribesanctuary.co.uk.
Okay, perfect. www.tribesanctuary.org.uk. Okay, perfect. And then we will make sure I'll talk to we just hired a new social media team, and I will be asking them if every time we do a live that we are going to have a poster that's going to put all the information from the particular sanctuary and then share it on our social media, so that people will be able to easily find them on social media, follow them, find their website, and also be able to find them, to find links to donations, but also on how to make donations. But also on the vegan stay, if you go to partner sanctuaries, if you scroll down, go to that page, to the partner sanctuaries, you'll be able to find Tribe Sanctuary Scotland there, and from there it will connect you to the website. It will be able to connect you to the to links where you could make donations and stuff. And Morag, I would love to make a donation after this myself, and I encourage everybody to make a donation. Absolutely. And as I said, you are is a wonderful person. Getting to know you over the last year, it really has solidified my commitment to the mission that I started even more. And then hearing you saying that, even taking that sort of like the burden of going back and forth with people, and for us it's something that's built into the system. And also I would like to emphasize that people can join if they have a BNB, and they can pick up Morag Sanctuary, Tribe Animal Sanctuary Scotland as a recipient, and then we'll give them 50% of the service fee. We just reached 35 countries now, and we are almost close to 230 confirmed stays. And you are number one. That was like 10 months ago.
All right.
So yeah, and then our goal is to pass 1,000 by the end of the year. So in a year from now, well, not in a year from, in May, 1,200 in May 2024, and then it's at the point where we really feel that we're going to reach a critical point. We are still in the building stages, but we are absolutely determined to support the work that Morag and other people do. Morag, the theme of volunteering. Also, are there opportunities for people to help you remotely? So let's say paperwork or anything that people can help with, or is it not an option at the moment?
We're not that organized, I'll be brutally honest with you. We do have somebody who's offered to help with our website, which was well overdue, so that's happening right now, so that's good. We could possibly look into how we could get people in to help with paperwork and so on, but we need to have a good system in place. You need to go right back before you can actually ask someone to help you. So we need to do that. So yeah. Of
course, and it's totally understandable. I mean, considering the resources that you have to work with, it's a miracle that you do what you do, let alone stay on top of things day in, day out, because it's really, I mean, the priority really is just survival and care of animals. That's really the priority of the things, the help in that. But even vital things, sometimes it's just, again, talking about the this beautiful titanic mission that is done against overwhelming odds, and then that it's done day after day, year after year, it boggles my mind. I think of myself as a strong person, not that kind of strength. That is just, I would say, the few notches above what I can do. I think I probably no, seriously, I'm not being. I really mean it. I do consider myself a strong person, but the type of strength that you have and some that I have seen in some of these sanctuary founders is a few notches above what they could claim, and it's just a fair thing to say. Also, Morag, is there a chance for us to meet with the animals and see them live, or is it, or are you working from your phone, or is it? Would you be able to have?
I'm on my phone. Let me see.
If it's possible, that would be really lovely. If not, it's okay. But if it's possible, that would be quite lovely.
There's some out there. There's a little lamb out there crying for me.
Oh.
They want their dinner.
Oh,
so,
I see. Dinner time?
Yes, it's dinner time. It's always dinner time for the little ones. So, yeah.
Oh, that is very cute. That's very cute.
Yeah.
So
not quite as cute at 5:30 in the morning, but they're cute.
Yeah. So the animals, so the home where you stay are you staying inside your home, and the sanctuary is right outside, or is it a little bit of a distance to walk to the sanctuary?
No. I live right in the middle of all the animals. So the house is in the yard, and there's animals all around the yard, and the paddocks are in front of the house and to the side of the house. So we're surrounded, which is a great position because we can keep an eye on everybody. But they're right there.
Yeah, I see. Okay. And also, I know that you stopped the rentals for the hut starting at the end of October, I believe, until April. So is that because of snow, or what's the reason there?
Well, no, you're right. It's a weather thing. Sometimes our access road is not very passable in winter, so we've got a 4-wheel drive, and it's fine in summer, but in winter it can get quite treacherous. Our drive goes downhill as well, so we couldn't really ask people to come. But also, the sanctuary is lovely and green in summer, and in winter it's pretty bleak. So it's not where you want to visit. And I think the hut would be warm enough, but you have to go from the hut to another hut to the toilet. I just don't think it's great for winter. But our winters are miserable at dark. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always there's that picture of the Scotland countryside in spring and summer, and it's just another level of beauty. And then the gloominess of the UK winters, of course, it is worldwide renowned. So I cannot wait. Honestly, I cannot wait to visit myself, and I really would love to come stay at the hut. And I'm not sure if it's possible this year, but if it's possible, it could be probably later in the year. And if not this year, absolutely next year. I absolutely would love to make sure this is a priority, and I would love to come and of course meet you in person and meet the animals and see the sanctuary live. So Morag, just a few more questions. So if I'm going to ask you, probably it could be even more than one thing, but what's the most inspiring thing or the most profound things the animals have taught you in working with animals? That was a surprising lesson that you have learned.
I think there's too many to answer. I'm always amazed at how emotional animals are, and how clever, and how they're watching you and analysing you. It's been a total privilege to be part of their lives. I assumed that it'd be hard work, but I didn't realise how rewarding it would be to have the love of these animals and the trust. That is really, really fundamentally why we do this as well. Can't be more specific. I'm sorry. I mean, I've learned a lot of really, really specific things about a lot of animals, and I had to do it fast because I came here not knowing anything. But what they've taught me is immeasurable.
No, that is perfect way to answer the question. I was not expecting any particular answer in any particular detail. We were just curious as an overall thing. But you said something extremely important: the trust. And I volunteer at a sanctuary animal place, which is here in Grass Valley, about an hour away from Sacramento, where I live. And something that really surprises me is that how quickly these animals trust us again, considering what humans have done to them. It really boggles my mind. It's something that is quite surprising that they are able to actually sort of move past that. And of course, some of them stay traumatized for life, but by and large, they sort of like. There are these goats that we picked up from another county. It's 3.5 hours from a horrible abuse case, and now they see a person. They hear the voice of a person from 100 meters away, and they start greeting and excitedly running. And if it was me, if it's 1% happened to me at the hand of humans, like happened to them, I would be walking around humans with a shotgun. I'm sorry, but that's what I would say.
Yeah, I know. Our biggest surprise is always the sheep. You know, there's a lot of sheep in Scotland, and we've got 50 of them, and they're all rescued. And normally, when people see sheep, in a paddock somewhere, the sheep run away. You know, and now they come running towards you, and they're friendly, and they're quite boisterous, and they jump up on people, and. Those are one of the biggest surprises for people, is that we're so used to seeing animals that are scared of humans and the ones that run away, that people are baffled when they actually come running towards you, and it's always wonderful to see. They've forgiven you, and once they've had the trust, they're completely different animals.
Yeah. It's always, it never fails to boggle my mind. It doesn't matter how frequently I have seen it. And also another question I would like to ask you: if somebody comes to you today and tells you, I'm going to start a sanctuary, what advice would you give me, or advices? What would you tell them?
I'd say it's a good time to start a sanctuary, because obviously I think the more sanctuaries we have, the better. The more sanctuaries, the more animals we can rescue. The main thing is get your funding in place. You don't want to rescue all these animals and then run out of money. That's doing them a massive disservice. You would end up just fundraising all the time, and that would be a horrible way to live your life. Be ready for the commitment, because it's not just something you can leave a few years later. You're in it for the long haul. Some of these animals live a long time. Our cows, they live 20 years. The donkeys live 40 years. It's not something that you can, if it's just a fad, don't do it. So those would be my two main things, and get a good group of people around you that support you, and have your and use social media. Use it as much as you can, because it's a powerful tool for the animals.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And you said something that really made me think, because the way I like to put it is this: this is about the animals, and it involves you. It's not about you, and it involves the animals. Exactly. And that's the difference between the type of commitment that you, Morag, is showing it's about the animals, and it involves you. But the kind of people coming to it from a fad sort of mindset is it's about you, and it involves the animals. And I think the considering what animals go through and what they live through, probably leaving them alone is sometimes it's all that some people can do. Just leave them alone. Just leave them alone. Let them be, and that's probably all you can do. So Morag, what else would you like to share with us? What else you would like to share with our listeners? Anything that you would like to share at this point?
I sometimes talk about how I changed the way I felt about starting an animal sanctuary. I used to think that it was all about, the sacrifice that we've just talked about, and just the bleakness, and the grim and the horror and everything. And there was a couple of incidences that kind of showed me that there's maybe a different way, which is also very powerful. So one was a dog that was found in Edinburgh. It was tied to the railings of a train station, and he had a bed next to him and his food. And he made the newspapers, because somebody had just tied him up to the fence, and the newspapers reported about it, and then this dog had a long waiting list of people wanting to adopt him, and I was wondering what's the difference between this dog and dogs sitting in animal shelters everywhere. And I thought it's because he had a story, it's because somebody talked about him, it's because there was, you know, a backstory to this dog that people could maybe empathize with. And I thought, well, that's really interesting. You, in a craft way, you're kind of adding value to this dog by talking about him. And I thought, well, why don't we do this about farm animals? You know, why don't we do this about animals that no one talks about? And a couple of years later, there was Esther the Wonder Pig, and it was these two men that talked about their pet pig, and she became a celebrity. It's because they talked about her, you know, because somebody gave her the time and the love and the attention and talked about it, that people could see what she was really like. And it makes a huge difference. And I thought that's going to be the foundation of my animal sanctuary. I want to talk about these animals. I want to show people what they're like. I want to give people the backstory to how we should interact with these animals and what they want from life, not how we've been conditioned to think about them and how animals are treated because it suits humans. So that was, I thought, just as important as rescuing as many animals as you can. In fact, the animals that we have are now ambassadors for their species, and we talk about them, and we hope that with talking about them we can reach even more people and rescue, in the bigger picture, rescue even more animals. So I underestimated the power of information when I first started thinking about having an animal sanctuary, but that's now an integral part of what we do.
Yeah, it's really is a very powerful statement and a very powerful realization, because storytelling is in our genes, we human beings. It's in our genes. Because I ask people, I say, if you throw somebody in an island and you don't teach them anything, what is the first thing that they will do? Once they have had enough time to evolve something, let's say, not necessarily one person, but let's say, we make sure that there are enough generations are going to pass. Let's say we throw a couple in there that they knew nothing. It's not mathematics. It's not science. It's not anything. They're gonna create mythology. That's exactly the very first thing they will do. Before anything else, before they develop tool, they're gonna tell stories.
Yeah.
The moment they communicate, and even if they don't communicate, they're gonna draw things, and then they're gonna tell you a story. And also this goes back to relate to the theme that we spoke earlier today, which is about silence. Silence and visibility becoming very, very powerful tools in the hands of animal agriculture, because to make people buy and consume the flesh of these dead animals, well, you'd have to completely disconnect that from the story of the animal that once lived. But then once you make this about stories, and you make the bear witnessing about stories and about allowing people, or sort of engaging that genetic DNA aspect of people, about the way that we relate to stories, we probably will be able to relate to them better. And it's something I'm going to think about for quite a while, stories and animals. And perhaps some of the people, or one of the people listening to us today, may be an artist of some kind, somebody who draws or creates children books, and probably this is something that could give us something to think about. Stories and animals. Yeah.
Powerful.
Yeah, very powerful stuff. So, Morag, thank you so very much for being with us today. It really is a pleasure talking to you. It has been a genuine pleasure working with you over this past year. I just would like to remind the people listening to us and people listening to this recording, this is Morag Sangster, the founder of Tribe Animal Sanctuary Scotland. Morag was the first person to list her stay, which is a beautiful, cute hut on her premises in Scotland that she uses to raise money and awareness, as she was explained to us, not just money, but very critically awareness about what she does at the sanctuary, her and her husband. And She's also a studio artist. She has a studio in Glasgow, Scotland, and the proceeds from the studio also go towards animal care. And I hope that by Morag being here with us today, people could see a glimpse of the kind of a person that she is. And then, you could see sanctuaries in social media and stuff, and you hear the stories of the animals. Well, because they make it all about the animals. And as I said, Morag Sanctuary is something that I care so much about because it's a type of place where it's about the animals and involves a person, not the other way. And so please follow Morag Sanctuary and particularly the sanctuary, Tribe Animal Sanctuary Scotland, on Instagram, on Facebook, and please visit the website. The website, I think it probably will be easily accessible from the social media, and Morag will remind us of the website in a second. Also find her sanctuary page on the Vegan Stay. Her hat is available on the Vegan Stay if you would like to rent it out, and all these things help. And if you have friends who live in Glasgow or anywhere in the UK, tell them about Morag Sanctuary and encourage them to go and visit. So Morag, please remind us of the website, and please remind us of the website.
www.tribesanctuary.co.uk.
I see. Okay, wonderful. And somebody's saying Tribe Tattoo Studios can be found in Edinburgh and Glasgow. Correct. So it's not just Glasgow, Edinburgh and Glasgow. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah, looks like you have quite a few fans. Well, very understandably why. I'm a fan myself. As I said, I would personally make a donation after this show today and encourage people. Anything helps. Spreading the words is also very, very critical, and following is very, very critical. Engaging with the social media content. And I have been following Morag's page for a year now, and both Facebook as well as Instagram, and there is quite beautiful content, and it's just a reminder of all the different aspects of what goes at the sanctuary. So Morag, thank you so very much. Such a pleasure knowing you, such a pleasure having you today, and I cannot wait to see where this takes all of us in the years to come.
Thank you for the interview, and I've really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Absolutely, we will make sure we will do it again. Bye Morag, have a wonderful weekend.
Bye.
I'll see you soon. Bye. Bye everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.